I don't hear nothing. All right, I can hear it now. Come on, Brett, get in here.
All right, we're getting ready to go here. Justin and Shane McMinn are lagging it up. Race to 9 ball. This is the hot seat match here at the U.S. bar table 9-ball division.
Well, Justin Bergman, the iceberg. What do we got for Shane McMahon? Got one? Start calling him Eminem. My mission is to just give everybody a nickname here.
I know Shane is a member of Team High Pockets.
And he got the lag.
And here's something I've noticed watching him before. He puts the magic rack upside down. Watch when he breaks these.
Well, that's weird, huh? Why does he do that?
I was going to ask him after the last match I watched him play. And,
Has he discovered something that nobody else knows yet?
I don't know.
Are we coming over loud and clear to everybody out there?
Maybe we don't want to know it, though. He just broke dry.
Yeah, I'm thinking turn that rack around. Playing 9-ball race to 9. You do not want a dry break. So we got this match, which is the hot seat match, followed by the 4th place match, which I believe is Billy Thorpe, the Torpedo, and Jason Klatt.
Yep.
And then the winner of that one plays. Brett, who's the winner of that one play?
They'll play the loser of this one.
Oh, yeah. I'm not awake yet. Jay Helford distracted me coming over here.
And it's just the beginning, Rick.
Just the beginning. I got the best seat in the house here, folks. I heard there's a pool match going on, but I'm going to watch Rick and Jay go at it.
Give me the gloves.
We
Give
need
me the gloves.
We need a camera here in the booth.
I'm telling you.
Let's see what Justin does. Nice hit. Nice hit, Justin.
Boy, he got that nice.
Yeah. He fell a little short on the 2.
He may have to cut it down into the lower right pocket.
Yeah, that's his only pocket. The problem is holding that cue ball for the 3. I think he can come off the rail and maybe bump the 8. That'd be ideal. It's a tough shot.
Tough shape.
Tough shape. I agree.
Jay, you could do those shots in your day, couldn't you?
Never had a day like that.
Justin moves the cue ball around so well.
I'm going to be good when I get older. Just watch.
Just a few more years of practice.
He used
Look
the
how
6
nice he
ball.
hit that.
He stopped it on the 6. Very nicely done.
I said something to him yesterday. I said, man, you move that cue ball around so nice. He goes, oh, thanks. He goes, you know, it's easy. I've been doing it since I was 5.
He has. He's been playing since.
That's just wrong.
Oh,
It's
no.
easy.
I looked at him. I said, it's not easy. I can't do it. Oh.
You know, for many years, they've said Mike DeShane is the second best player in the United States. But kind of, in my opinion, Justin has surpassed him in the last year.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Skyler is right up there, I think, now.
And Billy Thorpe pushing them all.
And Billy's pushing him.
The Torpedo.
I like
think
that name, Torpedo. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that?
Yeah. I told him I was going to make it stick, too, by the end of this tournament.
I said we need to start a drinking game every time he uses that word on the live stream. Everybody's got to do a shot.
Yeah, there you go.
Our viewers out there will be hammered by the end of a match. I'm telling you.
Did you guys introduce yourself? These are kind of luminaries of the tournament. They run the show. Rick Jones. Did you introduce yourself?
No, we didn't. We were waiting
Rick
on
Jones. He's the boss with his wife of Bad Boys Productions, and they are the producers of this event and many other events for the BCA and CSI. And Brett Baker. Okay, he's the right-hand man. He's the if there's a call to make, Brett, you're going to have to put that headset down and go out there and make a call.
Yeah.
One of you guys is, because I'm not going out there. I'm retired.
I think we got Bill Stock roaming around.
No, I don't
Nice
mind.
shot there.
I don't
Boy,
mind going out.
Getting a little close to that ball.
He killed
You
that
know,
real
I've
nice.
Rick, I've refereed so many tournaments that I can't walk around a tournament like this. And if there's a close hit, guys will look at me and say, hey, Jay, come call. I said, listen, I'm not the referee. Go up there to that control desk, ask them.
Yeah.
I get them at Derby City after the tournament. They're up gambling, and will ask me. I look at them, I go, I got a beer in my hand. I don't care. We need someone to watch this.
You know, Brett, I don't like to get involved in gambling matches.
I don't either.
You know what? When there's a gambling match, I say, listen, I'm charged $5 a call.
There you go.
I don't
work for free.
In a tournament, you've got the backing of.
Here comes the better half of Bad Boys Productions.
Here comes the big boss.
Bonnie Bad Boy. Just like that.
Justin breaks serve first game.
See what happens when your wife comes? She snaps her finger and Rick is gone. Oh, I think there's a problem with the table or something like that. He's running out to one of the tables.
He's going out to.
Maybe the balls got jammed or something like that. So we lost Rick Jones. He's watching a hit.
He's making a hit.
He's making a call.
Oh, Bill must have went on a break somewhere.
Yeah, well, Bill Stock will do that to you. You know that. Game 1 in the books. It's a race to 9. The winner's in the hot seat. The loser is not out because these are the last two undefeated players. Next up is the losers bracket semifinal. Billy Thorpe and is it Billy Thorpe and Schuyler?
They played last night.
Oh, it's Billy Thorpe
and Jason Clapp.
And Jason Clapp.
Yep.
Okay. So those are the final 4. The loser of this match will then play the winner of the Clapp and Billy Thorpe match.
That's correct.
Billy Thorpe's having another good tournament.
Oh, he's playing so good.
It's going to be a great day of pool.
I think the 8-ball is going to be the best of them all. You got big fields.
Yeah, and that's my favorite. I like to watch the pros play 8-ball on a 7-footer. There's a lot of traffic to run around.
Much more difficult game.
Yep.
I'd much rather watch the pros play 8-ball on a bar table than on a 9-foot table. They move the cue ball around too good on a 9-foot. You don't have the clusters. You don't have the fine little delicate shots.
A lot of tight position play.
Yeah.
And they got to break balls out a lot more than they would on a big table.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Justin, this combination felt real good for Justin. He can shoot that 1-7 to start this
round.
round.
The 1's going to pretty much stay right there.
They're all using that Corey dual tap break, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
They're hitting it a little harder than Corey.
Hey, Rick, let me ask you about that. Can you make a rule in this tournament, specifically in the 9-ball, where you got to drive 3 balls past the side pocket or something?
I'm going to be talking to the CSI office because, there's some ideas that are being thrown around. I was talking to Shane Van Boning yesterday, and he was saying if they just put the 9 on the spot, it would change
That would
everything.
change things.
Yeah.
They couldn't make the corner ball every time.
Right. He brought that up to me also, and several other players have said the same thing. If they put the 9 on the spot, that would improve this a lot.
They got this breakdown pat. And it kind of makes a travesty of this one game.
Well,
they can't do it in 10-ball.
Are you sure if we move the 9 to the spot, they just don't figure that one out too?
Well, I was going to say, I think Shane has that one figured out. That's what I told him. I said, you've got that one figured out. It's going to take me 2 years to figure that one out.
My feeling is I'd put the 9 on the spot, and I'd still make them shoot 3 balls, get 3 balls past the side pocket, which isn't that hard to do, but you've got to hit them at least medium speed to do it.
Right.
You can't tap them and get them past the side pocket. Well, he was a little fortunate the way he tapped that ball. It could have turned out bad for him.
These guys have figured out it's all about making a ball and getting shape on the 1. You don't have to hit them 900 miles an hour like they did back in the 70s and 80s.
Well, that's another Corey dual innovation.
That boy is a genius when it comes to the balls.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Ouch.
Wow. Careless mistake there by Justin Bergman.
Yeah.
It might cost him this game. I think he can go back and forth across the table and hit the 4, but it's really hard to play a shot like this when you're shooting the ball out in the open table. All you really can do is hit it. I mean, he'd like to come off the top of the ball, but
chances are, even if he comes off that and makes it, then he's not going to have a shot on the 5.
You just got to make sure you don't give up ball in hand. I'd hit this fairly hard. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, try to get fortunate. He didn't, but
See, at least he doesn't give up ball in hand, Brett.
Right.
And he forces Shane to come with a shot here. See, with this angle, Shane's got to make the 4 and come back across table for the 5.
It's not a gimme.
If he had ball in hand, it would be. I mean, for these guys, ball in hand with 4 balls on the table.
You're dead. Ball in hand pretty much any time is. No, he made sure he hit it. He hit it solid. So something good could happen. It's 9 ball. He's just real disgusted with himself that he let that cue ball creep behind the 8.
Oh, he had room to get underneath the 9 there.
Yeah.
He made it look easy. I thought he was going to come across the table, but he's fine. He can just go forward with a little right English and shoot the 8 in the side. I would think, yeah. Well, he went a little bit
Shane
far.
McMinn's another one of the good young players.
He's been a good player on these small tables he's won a lot of tournaments in the Midwest.
Yeah,
He's a threat to win any small table tournament he plays in. We're going to be tied 1 game apiece.
back on serve.
You know, with these good players and alternate breaks, we've got a lot of matches that are going hill or 9-7 like that. There's no runaways.
Right. One bad roll can really change the tide, too. I enjoy watching all these young guys play. It looks good for the future of pool. You know, for a while there, I was getting a little nervous. Everybody in a tournament was 40 and up.
Yeah. Like me, 40.
Yeah, 40 and up.
Yeah. I'm very impressed with Billy Thorpe. I like this Manny Perez, this young guy.
Oh, boy, Manny, yeah.
Well, hats off to CSA and Mark Griffin for continuing to put on these events and offer opportunities for professional players. We need more tournaments in this country.
Speaking of a young gun, here comes
what was that?
Mike Massey.
He was asking you something.
Oh, 1 up front, 9 in the middle. I like how they asked the rule question on the last
day, right?
Yeah, they're playing for the hot seat. Now they want to know the rules.
What do they ask you? You put the 2 in the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
They wanted to know if
I saw guys doing that, but
it's not required.
Some tournaments, I guess, and that's another. Somebody said put the 9 on the spot, the 2 in the back, so that.
I want you to know that in the 4 days I've been up here, when guys come and ask me tournament questions, I send them down to your booth. I said, I am not the tournament director. I'm solely a commentator. You got questions about the tournament? Talk to the Jones gang.
Well, and I bet for you, doing all the other events and all the commentating you do, it's hard to keep the rules straight from this event to that event.
You got every event's different.
You know,
every event's
Derby
different.
City has some different rules, and I wait in December. I read through them a couple times because they're totally different than everywhere else.
Well, it's the only time we really do bank pool.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because there are some rules that aren't covered. You know, situations that happen in bank pool that aren't even in the rule book.
Always. Ultimately, the official or tournament director has got to use his discretion sometimes.
Right.
Boy, he kept that 3 ball right there real nice. It's one thing when these guys shoot combos, they got to control that.
Well, you're looking at. I'll tell you, we all know. If I can digress for a moment because we see that Shane is going to get out this rack. Pretty much we know now that the American players are not necessarily all the best players in the world, particularly on big tables. There's a lot of good European players and many, many, many good Asian players. But I'll tell you what, on these small tables, we still have the best players.
Yeah, I would agree.
The best players in the world on on 7-foot tables are Americans, guys like this right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, one reason, this is the only country where you see these tables. Can you believe that in a pool-crazy nation like the Philippines, you can't find a 7-foot table?
Really?
You can't find one.
That's
not there. Even in the bars, it's all 9-foot tables.
Well, I remember the first time Bustamante came to this event, and he said, I've never played on a 7-foot table before, and he racked all 15 balls and ran them all in rotation. First time. I was like, he goes, well, they play good. I was like, wow. Wow, that was something else.
Every Filipino, when they come over here for the first time, this is the first time they'll play on small tables. You have to learn, though. They're different. They definitely play different than the 9-footers. It's a different kind of game. Nice break. Everything out in the open.
I was just going to say a good spread there. Not a whole lot of cue ball movement needed.
Looks like all stop shots. We used to call it a Cosmo.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the origin of that name? Why they call it a Cosmo, a real easy rack?
I've heard
I've
heard the story on.
Well, I'm an old timer. There was a pool player out of New York named Tom Cosmo that was the funniest, craziest character in the world, and he would do exhibitions. And part of his to begin his exhibition, he would set up 9 balls on the table and say, "Watch me, I'm going to run all these balls." He had them set up so he could shoot 9 stop shots in a row, and the players started saying, "Well, that's a Cosmo."
Wow,
that's where it came from.
That's cool.
I had heard that story. I think Grady Matthews probably was one
he's
that
an
I
old
heard.
timer like me.
Yeah,
there really was a Tom Cosmo, and I mean, watch out,
Boy,
Justin! Don't
boy.
get stuck behind another ball. Oh, he'd really be mad at himself if he did it again.
he is fine. Look,
I like the flow Justin has to his game today. He's kind of loosened up a little bit.
he told me the other night against Skyler. He goes, "I don't know. I was so nervous." He says, "I haven't been this nervous since the Moscone Cup."
Yeah, he did seem a little tight.
And Skyler's been beating up on him pretty
Yeah,
good.
Skyler's got his number.
Kind of has his number lately, and Justin really wanted that match.
Well, they're friends and they travel
Yeah.
together. They even room together.
And they play together. Yeah,
but in the tournament, they're rivals.
oh yeah,
They're fighting for supremacy. It's like again. I refer back to the Philippines, but all those Philippine guys are friends. But in the Philippines, they have a tier rating system. And you go over there and you see the top players playing each other, and they're not playing for big money. They're playing to be top tier. They want to be. They want to be ranked above the. It's more of an ego and a pride thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing, though. It keeps the competition, keeps the skill level up there.
Keeps them sharp. I
Yep.
agree. I mean, the top players in the Philippines, you will see, when you see them in a pool room, they're playing. They're not sitting around, hoping they get a lucky game. Or a good game.
That's coming up through the pool world and watching and doing tournaments. The Filipinos, you walk into a tournament room and there's always a Filipino practicing on a table or playing somebody all day long.
Right.
He may not have come up with a shot or that
He
fork.
can jump it.
Yeah,
Because he's only got to jump like a fourth of the ball. I think he's going to go get his jump cue. I don't think you want to push out here. He can see a part of the ball, but I don't think he can shoot straight at this ball.
How does Shane jump? I haven't seen him doing any jump. I haven't seen a whole lot of Shane McMinn playing, really.
He can jump the balls, don't worry.
Yeah,
Well, they can all jump.
Yeah.
But
He's
some
good.
Some
He's
of them,
good.
you look at them and you go, yeah, it's 95% chance of making that.
He might jump this ball with his playing cue. Look at this. Look at that.
Right.
He's trying to throw it in. See, he's using right English.
Yeah, he's going to curved around.
See how he twisted that ball?
shot.
That was beautiful.
I mean, he made it look easy, but
Now
that was a throw
Now
shot.
he's going to have to come with a combo on the 3-6 or play safe here.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. I thought, what is he going to do with the 3 when he makes it? Because do you really want to shoot this combo? That's no bargain there. Rick, you go to more tournaments than anybody these days. Thank you. I want to bet. I'm going to frame. Thank you, Max. That's Max Eberly, and he makes these beautiful prints, the 8-ball print. How can they find it, Max? Okay, maxeberly.com, EBERLE. Wow, nice combination.
Boy,
maxeberlyart.com. And he's got some beautiful lithographed limited edition prints, 8-ball prints. I bought one.
You can only see him on Instagram, on Max Eberly Art on Instagram right now. That's the only place.
Hey, wait a second. Slow down.
And now he's making it complicated.
Okay. He said on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, And all social media, Max Eberle.
He's all over social media. You
He's
can find
everywhere.
him.
You want to find it, you can find it.
I'll tell you what, all the years I've been around pool, Max Eberle is the greatest artist in the pool world I've ever seen, by far. Do beautiful stuff, Max. Thank you. Yep. Okay. Now we want to see you on the TV table in the 8-ball, man.
The Efren of art. I like that. Boy, this was not an easy rack, and
He's made it look easy.
That combination was strong.
Oh, man,
I'm sorry I interrupted you guys with the little Max Eberle speech, but he is a brilliant artist.
He's just a really nice guy.
He's a damn good pool player, too. Don't
Yes,
worry.
Yes, he is. I've played him a couple times. Didn't like it.
Shane McMinn takes a lead, 3-2 over Justin Bergman.
Max Eberle was the first player I ever saw playing with a magic rack. We were at a tournament. I said, "What in the world is this?" He goes, "Here, try
How
it
long
out."
ago was that? 10 years ago?
Oh,
Like that?
Yeah, it's got to be 10 years or so.
Time flies too fast.
You know, when I first saw him, Brett, I thought, this is a joke.
Well,
That's real. Remember, I grew up with all kinds of triangles. I thought, this is a total joke, and I wouldn't use them. I totally resisted it for the first couple of years. And then, I said, this works.
When I first got them, they didn't have the 8-ball, and all they had was the 9-ball, 10-ball.
Yeah.
Right.
And I actually I bought like 50 of them and brought them to the U.S. bar table and sold them all in 2 days. I didn't sell a one to the top players, but by the end of the tournament, all the top players were using them.
Well, I'll tell you, I like the Magic Rack a lot better than when the Sardo rack came out. And they were caving the ball into the cloth.
That
And
putting
it
the
was-
dents in the cloth.
Yeah.
When I saw him do that, I hated it.
Well, and the funny thing is like the second tournament I went to, they had the Sardo racks out there, and I was playing in the middle of the night over in the corner, and the Sardo guys would come out and they'd re-dent the table.
Phil and Carmine.
And I walk over the table to see what's going on, right? And I go to rack the balls. I didn't even need a rack.
Right.
To me, I'm like, oh my God, that is terrible.
Yeah.
Because those dents are there.
Yep.
Well, we did a tournament at Hard Times about 15 years ago, and Sardo supplied all the racks, and I was a tournament director. And this is Hard Times Sacramento, right? The beautiful pool room, most beautiful pool room. He had new tables, new cloths. And the first day, one of the Sardos was there, and he was putting dents in the cloth. I said, forget it. I said, I'm not going to allow you to do that. And they got on my case, but Chuck Markoulis backed me up on it. I said, you can't do that to his table.
Oh, it's terrible.
Anyway, so.
Justin's falling nicely on this 3-ball.
This is the only thing about the soft break, Rick, is that in the soft breaks, the balls get congested a lot. And position can be tough.
I'm almost surprised he hasn't asked me to come down and
move that rack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your turn, Brett. I had to get up and go make a call across the room
I
earlier.
saw that.
Bill had to go get some food.
I gave him a hard time the other day. In the 10-ball, I had to remove the magic rack for him several times. I said, Justin, you need to hit it just a little harder. Get it off the rack.
Yeah, there you go.
Brett, you and I have to have a conversation off the mics about that.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know, Rick? Do you know
I
what
have
it's
no
about?
idea. I have no idea what.
All right. Well, after this rack, I want you guys to take your mics off, and I want to share something with you
Uh-oh.
that showed up on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh,
Who,
yeah.
who are we not
boy.
Facebook friends
Brett,
with?
you were famous.
Uh-oh.
Oh, geez. What did I do now?
I'm glad it was Brett, not me.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, but we can't discuss this one on the air.
All right.
Okay, this one's R-rated. Not X, R. Well, it looks like Justin worked his way through a tough rack. But these guys are both playing. You know what? They've been playing 4 days now. They really got a stroke on these tables.
Yeah, their ball speed is getting really sharp.
That's the really nice thing about having 3 events like this all in one, 3 tournaments in one event is they get to really get in stroke on the tables, and you get to see some great pool.
I think these guys that have played all week have advantage over the 8-ball players that are coming in late.
Oh, big time, big time.
Because I know you got a lot of extra players come in for the 8-ball. Just draw straight back on the 9. All right, wait, we'll make this 9. Hey, you guys, do me a favor. After this 9-ball goes in, kill the sound for a second. Will you do that? All right, we had a good laugh.
Yeah.
Yep.
A private joke between the three of us.
And we're not sharing.
Good laugh at my expense.
Hey, we're not sharing.
Not the first time, not the last.
Yeah, no sharing, Brett. We'll
I
keep,
could
we'll
tell
keep
you.
that between
I
the
could
three
tell
of us.
you some embarrassing stories that I did. Oh my God! I actually fell asleep refereeing a match once. I mean, literally fell asleep.
You're not the only
and there
one.
was a foul, and they asked me to make a call. And Billy and Cardona was in the crowd. It was a match. Rimpey was playing Siegel, and the foul was on Rimpey. But I said I can't call it. I didn't see it.
Wow,
and
that's a
Billy
long
and
time
Cardona,
ago.
this is 30 years ago. Billy and Cardona yells out, "He's betting on Rimpey."
Oh, nice.
I wanted to crawl in a hole.
Yeah.
I wanted to crawl in a hole. I think you got to push out on this one. Why kick?
Boy. Yeah.
I mean, how can you kick safe? I mean, you could kick safe if you could hold the cue ball behind the 5, but that's real tricky.
He's looking at kicking to make this.
Yeah, he's kicking to make it.
These young guys, man, they have no fear of that. They just, I was watching a match the other day out on one of the other tables, and it was like, the guy could have just played a bump safe, but no, he banked it 3 rails and in the hole and kept shooting. I was like, oh my God, I'd have never done that.
Where that one is, he's about 50-50 to kick it in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that close to the rail. It's not that hard.
And if he kicks it hard, if he misses it, it could get down.
Yeah, but you've got to figure if you miss it, you're going to give up a shot.
Yeah, most
so
likely.
if he kicks at this, he's kicking to make it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you almost have to, right?
I would say this. If he kicks at it, it'll hit around the pocket. He might make it, but it'll hit around the pocket.
He's shooting.
Yeah,
On these
he's
bar
going
tables,
for it. How many guys shoot this shot?
Just,
but
look at it.
Oh, look
Oh,
at this.
man,
Look at this.
Oh, he two-wayed you there, Jay. You didn't
Yeah.
even see that coming.
Yeah.
That was
He hit that good.
incredible.
You know, it's hard to kick at this ball off the side rail. But I think Justin might be able to go between the 4 and 9, but it's tight because that 3 and 2 are a little bit in the way. He's got to.
He's going to have to back it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to use a little inside. This is a hard ball to kick at. It's a big ball. It would be easy for Justin if he didn't. I think that 2 ball is the one that's really in his way.
Yeah.
It's right. Yeah, it's right on the path. He's got to go long. He's got to aim long and use a little inside English. It makes it so much harder to control the cue ball.
Yeah, real easy to overdo it. Trying to back it up a little bit.
Well,
I don't know what
he's
Three
not
rail.
going 3. No, you can't.
Come on, watch this.
You got to be kidding me.
He's 3 rail.
You got to be kidding me.
1, 2. Oh, yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that's tight.
That'll be pretty.
That's coming tight between the 7 and the 4.
Yeah, exactly.
That 4 is right about.
No, he's going this way.
Yeah.
He's got to go this
Yeah,
way.
you got to go this
I
way.
wanted to see that pretty 3 rail.
It's still not easy. It's still not easy. If he does it, he'll come short and hit the end rail.
Well, and the 1's not actually right.
I'm not even sure he'll hit
on
the end rail. I think
there.
he'll hit the 2 or the 3.
Well, the ones look at how he's going. Now he's
yeah,
going to
there you
use
go.
extreme inside English.
That's
He doesn't
tough.
like it either way. See, he won't kick to the side rail because the 1's above the pocket.
I actually like going between the 9-2 better.
Yeah. Well, he's going 3 rails. He's going 3 rails.
Man, that's a tight
Yeah,
window.
Wow.
This one you got to watch out for the 4 ball.
Yep.
Got to really watch out for the 4
Tight
ball.
window.
This is a billiard shot here.
Oh,
he made.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
He double kissed it in. Yeah, it's
Hey,
okay.
just to get through there
That
was
was-
awesome.
Yeah.
That was just
Only
incredible.
one guy clapped. They all should have been clapping, I'll tell you.
Hell,
that.
I was clapping.
We're all clapping up here.
Holy moly.
I think Shane McMinn clapped, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought I saw him.
He tapped his cue.
Yeah.
He tapped his cue.
That was a great shot.
That's the old traditional way
Yeah.
of acknowledging your opponent. You tap the cue on the ground.
Yeah.
Of course, now carpet.
Well,
Yeah.
casinos, concrete and carpet. But that was a great shot.
I like this carpet underneath the table. It looks good. It's a nice contrast.
You know, make a great shot like that, and here's what you get. Still,
Well, at least he didn't
can't
give up
see
ball in
it.
hand. At least he didn't give up ball in hand. This might be
Hey,
just
he
as
only
hard
has to go 1 rail. Here he doesn't have to go 3. So.
Yeah, but this is hard with the ball out in the open.
Look at this.
Holy crap.
Wow.
How good does this boy kick?
What
Oh,
an exhibition we have of kicking.
Just do it again.
just kick this 3 in the side.
Meanwhile,
Can he kick in the whole rack?
Wow, that was.
so his reward is another tough shot.
Yeah.
This is a case in point that Bobby and I have said for the last few days. Everybody says, well, they're all short shots, they're all easy. Let me tell you, this 3-ball is no easy shot.
No, this is not easy. Set this ball up, shoot it 10 times, and see how many times.
Everybody says it's all easy. Where are they at? They're sitting at home watching on TV.
Yeah.
These guys make it look easy.
Good shot.
Wow.
That was a very
good
nice
shot,
shot.
Justin.
You know, I've often said that's one of the problems with pool is these guys make it look so easy that people don't appreciate how tough it really is.
I'll tell you what helped my game was I used to live in Alaska, and I flew down and watched the pro event at the BCA Nationals. And I'm not going to say which pro it was, but they were on the 9-ball. And all they had to do was shoot it straight in to win, and they miscued and hopped over the 9.
It can happen.
And then they ended up losing the set. And there was like 7 or 8 shots that were missed that I thought, wow. You know, but for me, it was like, oh, they missed too. So I didn't feel so bad about my game.
They're human.
Right. So then I went home and I played 2 or 3 balls better because I didn't think
You got
I wasn't as
encouraged.
bad as I thought I was. You know?
Well, you saw the out that Shane failed
Oh,
on.
my God.
you know,
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
10-ball
Never
tournament.
seen him do that.
7
on the
he
hill
had 3
running
balls, 7, 9, and 10, and he missed an easy 7-ball.
Yeah. It
Never
happens.
seen him do that when he was running out for the match.
I'm going to tell you something. I said to him after the match, I said, Shane, I've seen all the greatest players the last 40 years, and I said, I've seen every one of them miss shots that easy. And it's true. It's just a momentary lapse in concentration.
Yeah.
And
Took it for just barely take it for granted.
kind of like in this match when Justin fell behind the 8-ball on a real easy position shot.
Justin should get like 3 games for this out. Holy smokes.
Should he get paid double here?
Yeah.
That was a strong. That's probably the toughest out I've seen in this tournament this week.
Should make that.
It might be one of the toughest outs I've seen all year.
5-3.
I'm going to share something with you. You know, he's really sped up his play from the way he was playing in the 10-ball. He's not taking as long.
I think he's a little more comfortable. You know, they've been playing on these tables for 4 days.
You got to have a nice pace to your or rhythm to your game.
Well, and his confidence has got to be high right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing the hot seat match now. He won the other event. That's got to help your game.
He's rolling up those Mosconi points.
That's
He's
right.
trying to get back on that team.
Well, he needs to be on that team. I'm telling you.
Well, he's a potential pick even if he doesn't make the top 3.
Yeah.
He's going to gain ground though at this tournament.
I'll tell you, I enjoyed watching him this year play. I think it was him and Skyler,
They were the best.
and
They were the best.
they
their
had a
chemistry
tough
was
position
good.
shot. And Skyler says, "Hey, don't put the cue ball here." And he says, "Yeah, that's not going to happen." And he shoots a great shot, beautiful shape, and it was like, wow. I enjoyed watching it this year.
We need these young guys to get more experience in the Mosconi Cup.
Yeah. I think they need to add a bank pool Mosconi Cup because I think we'd slaughter everybody.
That's what I told
Well, of
Skyler the
course.
other night. I said, I got the Mosconi Cup figured out. He looked at me like I said, we make it bank pool. I said,
Oh, forget about
I
it.
said,
Oh,
you,
Forget about
John
it.
Brumbeck, Billy, we'll throw
Shannon Murphy.
We'll throw in Shannon Murphy.
Danny Smith. Oh, we got the bank
Oh,
pool
yeah.
players in this
Oh,
country.
yeah.
Don't worry about that.
I said, Europe would not be liking it.
Meanwhile, Justin's going to make quick work of this rack.
Yeah, he's a.
Shane McMinn looked a little frustrated after that last rack.
Well,
I mean,
he played
3
that.
times. Yeah, 3 times in a row he thought he was coming to the table.
Yeah, he played that kick on the 1 perfect, and then sat and watched Justin make a couple of kicks and a really tough 3 to get in line, run out.
Couple of incredible kicks.
Nice position there. And now he's got this rack.
Yep, you got just past that 7 to bring natural shape out for the 8. He moves his cue ball around so well.
Got a nice touch.
Guys last night were over one of the tables and they were doing imitations of each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun to watch.
You know who's the best at that, Alex?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
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 That
In fact,
great.
we
You
actually
know
said
that,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you another one that's really good with the Filipinos was Gomez.
Roberto? Oh,
Roberto,
really?
He
Yeah.
had Bustamante and Reyes down just absolutely. You could tell he'd been
I'm
doing
sorry
it for
I
years
missed
and years.
that.
Oh,
That must have been fun. Did you video it?
you know, I should have.
Yeah, put it on
Facebook Live.
YouTube. Oh my God!
Oh,
that-
my
You get
gosh.
100,000 hits.
And then to watch these guys do John Moore, you know, they got the head. They were exaggerating, you know.
It's a shame that they got that World 8 ball at the same time as this because we lost some of those good players. 'Cause,
Right.
normally we'd have Mora here, probably Alex too. You know, and a few others. Oscar would be here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Corey Duell. I think the combination of the World 8 ball and Turning Stone probably cost you, I'm guessing, about 24 players.
Probably,
Well,
yeah.
and it wasn't something that was done intentionally. This was the date that
No
they could
problem.
have this tournament, and
Yeah, no, I
you
understand
know,
that.
yeah,
I wasn't getting into
I'm
that.
saying that for people out there that are wondering, well, why in
Brett,
the world would they?
Brett, that kind of thing's been happening in pool
Oh,
for.
sure.
I did tournaments 25 years ago where there were conflicts. And people said,
It's
"Why?"
tough. I
And
mean, you can't work around all of them.
I'd say, listen, I'm doing a tournament in Los Angeles. Yeah, I know there's a tournament in Atlanta or New York. I said, but that's
Right.
the East Coast. We're the West Coast.
That's
right.
I said, it's a big country.
That's exactly.
And it's
right.
tough. I mean, the casinos only have so many dates that they have available that they're going to deal with pool players.
Oh, my
you know.
God.
And,
That's a shot that might cost him the match.
yeah.
He missed an easy shot in
Wow.
the side
I
pocket.
You just don't
See,
Did he jump up on that? It kind of looked like he leaned away from that shot a little
I don't
bit.
know, man. I don't know. It's like he just was playing position. Again, kind of harkens back to what we were talking about a moment ago. A momentary loss of concentration. He missed an easy shot.
It happens.
But what you were saying, Rick, you put on a lot of tournaments. You know, you've got to work with these casinos on the open dates.
Yeah, it's not like
Right.
you can walk in and go, hey, I want these dates.
That's-
you know,
you got
they tell
exactly
you what
right.
dates are available, and that's all you got. Wow.
He
There's a-
overcut
well, that was a tough shot.
That was a tough shot. Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised he didn't bank it cross side because he banks so good. But Shane got a reprieve.
Oh, he's got to like the fact he's back at the table.
He may not like it, but I call him the other Shane. Shane Jr. He's not Shane Jr. because he's probably 30 years old. He's been around a while. He might have to go up and down the table. No, he hit it real soft. That'll work. That's the 6 ball snuggled
that
up
6
underneath
is
the 9.
right, snuggled up, but I think it's poking out just enough. He'll be able to shoot it past the 7 into.
It must poke out enough. Now, see, for me, I don't want that magic rack sitting there on the
Oh,
shot.
he's going to hit this hard.
Exactly,
He's going to hit this hard enough. It's not going
You see that?
didn't bother the cue.
I'm just saying. You see how it moved, and
Right. Rick, do you know there's times I've seen somebody shoot like the 9 ball or the 10 ball that was on the magic rack, and the magic rack wraps around the ball a little bit.
yeah, I've seen that.
I think some of these racks are not all the same, though. Some of them are a little different.
They certainly don't make them as thick as they did at first. And the ones now are almost too thin. They're just too flimsy.
Paper thin.
We got the right score up there. Is it 5-4?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It would have been 6-3.
Our guys got that score up there really quick.
Yeah. Well, they're on the ball because you're here.
Well,
If
yeah.
you're not here,
Yeah.
that score could be anything now.
I figured they were mad at me. We woke them up, made them come back to do a bonus match last night.
Come on. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, Billy Thorpe and
Skyler.
Their
I thought they were
side
playing
of the
over there.
Their side of the bracket was running behind because the match is in front of it. So
Oh, that's right. When we left, Gary
Skyler-
Onamura was still playing.
That's right. He was
Right.
playing Skyler, and there was a big crowd over there. So I said, hey, let's just move that match, him and Billy to the TV
If you'd
table.
have called me, I'd have come back down.
Wow.
Yeah,
'Cause
you know,
I
well,
like
it was kind of a
watching this
last-second thing, you know. It's like, well, let's move them over to the TV table
So
because
people
there's a
could
crowd.
watch.
Did you do commentary?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well, then you're good.
Yeah, no, and then I'm like, well, we can't put them on the TV table and not at least put them on the internet, you know. So I called Steven and had him come back down and turn it on, and then me and Brett were like, well, we ain't got nothing else to do. It's the only
I'm
match.
going to
Let's
sit and
just
watch
jump
this
up
match
here.
anyway, so yeah.
Well, you guys are good. I can
It
be
was-
replaced.
It was
No. Unfortunately, we can all be replaced. I'm sure there's somebody out there just waiting for me to move aside that thinks
I might
they're going to make millions.
I might have to help.
They
him.
always think that.
I don't know how much longer I can be patient with that.
Yeah. Hey, just whatever you put in my food or drink, man, make sure it goes quick, all right?
You need a taster, Rick. You need a taster.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, would you be my taster?
I already got a taster.
You know, the funny thing is people come to me all the time and go, oh, I want to work for Bad Boys, you know, and it's like, okay, do you love pool? Yeah. Do you like playing pool? Yeah. I go, then you don't want to work
That's
for
exactly
Bad
what
Boys.
I tell them too.
You
How
ain't
do I
going to be
get there?
playing. You're going to be working.
I maybe have played 8 hours this year. I went from 8 hours a day to
I had a
8
guy-
hours a year.
I had a guy at the pool room the other day. He says, "Man, you've become a real road player." I said, "No, I've become a road watcher."
I was telling him last night on the stream, I take my pool stick to about every other tournament so that it feels like it's still needed, but it never comes out of the case anymore.
I didn't even bring a pool's cue to this tournament, and this is the first time in probably 10 years I haven't played in this event.
I have a queue here in Vegas. It's in my condo about 10 miles away from here, and it hasn't been here yet. He's got a little. Is he going to try and draw back on this? He's not going to play that 4-8, I don't think.
Oh, I think he'll go
He's
over
got
that.
to
I
get
think
on He's got to get
well,
on the other side of the 4-ball.
Yeah, I
That's
thought
it. He wants to get
yeah,
around the 8.
Oh,
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Justin.
Didn't know if he had hit it hard enough at first, but he.
Yeah, I saw him looking at that, and I said, is he looking at the 4-8? No, he was looking at getting around the 8, and he did. He
Gotta
didn't
make
want the
sure-
cue ball
he's
right
gotta
on
be
the
careful
rail.
shooting this with high English and cutting it that it doesn't skid on him.
Well, the good news is he's got natural running English for position. He doesn't
Yep.
really have to do anything with the cue ball. It's going to go to the rail. It's going to go up towards the 6. He can just roll it in. I don't think he's going to go back and forth across the table. I'd be surprised. Maybe he will. Yeah, that's it. That's all he's got to do. If he gets there, he's fine. Play 2-rail position for the 7-ball. You know, as Buddy Hall used to say, don't play position when you've already got it.
Yeah.
It's nice to play natural running English as much as you can, and it's all table speed. Yeah, he went the other side. He's okay. He's good.
He's not happy with himself, but he's fine.
Only boy's got to be
He's
careful
such a-
with his 8.
he's
He's got
such
to
a
get down below
perfectionist.
the 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stopped in time. If he'd have gone like 2 inches farther, he'd have been in trouble. But he's okay here. Let's see if he plays short of the 8 or across the 8. I like the way he did this.
He hit that pretty.
Yeah, he had to just get past the side pocket.
You know, I was watching Jason Klatt yesterday, and he hit a shot. He had to go like 2 rails all the way around the table. As soon as he hit it, he shook his head, and he ended up shooting over the 7. You know,
He knew he was
he
bad.
knew when he hit it that was going to be right up on the
Right.
7. You know, it's like he wasn't hooked or anything, but it's like, wow, those guys really know.
They know as soon as they hit it if they hit it good. Meanwhile, you know, I watched Justin play all through the 10-ball tournament, and if anything, he's playing better now.
Yeah,
He's really looks sharp.
Yeah, everybody else is not going to be happy with that.
Maybe he'll pull a Shane Van Boning and double dip this tournament, like Shane did at the U.S. Open. Pretty
Well,
strong if you
I'm
went
pretty
through the-
sure without looking, I think Glenn Atwell was the only one that was in the finals of all 3 events here.
I think
That's
so.
a long time
That was
ago.
a lot.
Yeah, but that's strong.
That's when I was running the U.S. bar table. That's
And
20 years back
he
in the
was-
90s.
Be surprised.
It was
if
What
the
happened to
Bergman's not
Glenn?
there.
He's probably
Well,
in his early 50s.
He had a stroke. not.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, he moved back to, what was it, Oklahoma for a while or somewhere in the
Kansas. He was in
Midwest.
Kansas.
Kansas, there
He
you
lived
go.
in the Northwest forever.
Yeah, he went on the road and ended up in Kansas for a little while. And I heard he's doing okay now, but
Good guy.
yeah.
Great player. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a world-class player.
I think he had a heart attack and then he had a stroke. I mean, he just had some real health problems there.
He used to stay under the radar, and
Yeah,
real
he
good
did.
players would pick him in a tournament, would draw him in a tournament, and they thought they had an easy match. And then
He
he
call
beat
him
him.
the anaconda.
Yeah.
Boy, he just slowly just squeezed the life right out of you.
He lived in Aloha, Oregon. Yeah, he didn't. Glenn was not in any hurry.
No.
Glenn
No.
was not in
No.
any hurry.
No, and if anybody ever had him down, you could bet Glenn was going to step out and have a really slow cigarette.
Oh yeah, he was the one. He was the one that convinced me that nicotine was a performance-enhancing drug in pool because he'd be down like 7-3 in a race to 9. He'd go out and have that cigarette break, come back there and win 9-7. And I'd look and never miss a ball. I was like, wow.
Well, maybe he's got that cigarette loaded up with something. Who knows? I don't think so. I think he's a pretty straight guy. I'm joking, Glenn. I'm joking. I know you're watching. Boy, he just.
I don't think he did.
I don't know that he's.
Well, you know what?
Where's that miracle camera, man?
He may shoot this one like he shot that other ball. Just slow roll with a lot of kind of spin it in.
You got to just watch his face. Yeah, he's disgusted with himself. But yeah, he looks like he's going to try to spin this in.
Yeah.
Wow.
He even got out there for the 5. No problem at all.
That was a great
He's
shot.
keeping it close. He's keeping the pressure on Justin. Both these guys are playing real good right now.
Nice little stroke there.
Big match here. What is it? It's $2,500 for second place and $1,500 for third. So there's a difference of $1,000 on this match right here. First place in this tournament's $4,100. With the field you've got in April, first prize could be what, $4,500 to $5,000, something like that.
Yeah, I got the pay. I did the payouts last night. I think it's $4,400.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not
Actually,
a bad week, you know.
Actually, in truth,
Yeah.
you can win more here than you can at Turning Stone.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, if you win a couple divisions like Justin might. What's the all-around money this time?
I think it's $1,500 for
First place only.
the all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice bonus.
Yeah. It's a nice little title to have too.
Yeah. I know there's been years where Shane has won over $10,000 at this tournament.
Yeah.
He's not having a good year this time. He finished 5th and 6th in the 10 ball. That was $650, which for him is pocket change. And he got knocked out of the 9 ball, out of the money.
Yeah. Well, he had a tough draw in the 9 ball though.
He lost to Jason and Billy.
Billy beat him in the
No.
10 ball.
Billy beat him in the 10. He lost to Rob Saez.
Rob
and Jason
Saez and
Clapp,
Jason
yeah.
Clapp. Thank you.
But even the match he won, he drew somebody pretty tough.
Yeah, he won his first match.
I think that's all he
You
won.
know, before
in the 9
Yeah,
ball
then he
first
lost to a
match.
Rob.
Yeah, he won that first one. And
Very un-Shane-like.
the day before the tournament started, though, he was talking to one of the guys, and they were like, "So, you're here to pick up your checks or something?" And he says, "Hey," he goes, "I'll bet you $200 I win at least one event here," and he couldn't get action. And I thought, wow, how good is that?
Yeah, right. Well, he's got one left, the biggest one.
Well, and it's the one he's never won.
He's never won the 8 ball.
He's never won the 8
Interesting.
ball.
Interesting.
And he's, considered to be the best bar table 8 ball player.
I
on the
haven't seen him
planet.
today. He's in the tournament, right? He should be playing now.
He won his first match, I believe.
he already played.
Or maybe not. I thought I saw a score sheet with his name
I
on
haven't
it.
seen it. Of course, I've been kind of sitting up here most of the time, too.
The poor guy looked lost yesterday. He was bored. He's walking around. It's like
He's not used to being out of a tournament
he's
that
not,
early.
he's not
Right.
used to being at a tournament and not playing, yeah.
I'm not sure he's safe in a casino if he's not playing pool. Well, Justin made another really good break. That's what where he wants to be, where he just put the end right there. So he's got an angle to slide the cue ball over for the 4.
Yeah, Justin's been breaking the balls really good this week, and if I had to say there was a weakness in his game, that'd be the only, as he doesn't break the balls quite as good as some of these guys. But man, on these bar tables, he's been breaking perfect this week.
He's won a couple bar table tournaments this year.
Oh yeah,
with all good players. Those 16 and 32 man invitationals that they pay $1,000 to enter, $500.
Those are some tough events.
Yeah.
They are, and he's good. Boy,
Rick, they've become very popular these days. They're having one or two of those every month now. Short field invitationals, big.
I'd love to
big
do
entry
something
fees.
like that with 32 or 64 players. Everybody pay $1,000. I think that'd be.
You can get 32 for sure. You can get 32 these days.
Maybe we could get some people out there in pool halls to set up some satellite qualifiers or something.
That's not a bad idea.
It'd be awesome,
If you could do 32 players at $1,000 each and add 8,000, make it a $40,000 purse. You know what? All the top guys will play.
Yeah.
That's all. They're not adding a lot of money. They're adding 5, 6, 7,000 to most of these tournaments. The only one we add a lot to is the Bigfoot. That's 16 guys, 16,000. We add 16,000 to that.
Right.
And they believe me, there 16 spots open. I got 30 guys trying to get in every year.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I
got
think
through those first 3 balls.
I think he's fine here.
Yeah.
Every game's a big game right now. He
Yeah,
wants to maintain that 2-game lead.
It's only one break a serve right here, so
He's not happy about that, but
Yeah,
he's
I think
got
he wanted
side
to be
pockets.
straight on
Right.
that, so he could just shoot the 6 in the side and roll up a little bit and shoot the 7 in the bottom right corner.
But look at all the pockets he's
I
got. He can
think-
shoot the 6 in the corner.
I think the 6 goes by that 8 into the side, so he'll
Again,
just pull it over, but he wants to make sure he doesn't get behind the 7.
yeah, it wasn't his first choice, but you got to take what the table gives you, and that's the right shot right now. Really,
Now he's looking at the corner.
Looking at a little slow roll there.
he's afraid to slide over because he might get behind the 7. He's afraid to slide to his left, although I think he could handle that shot. I think that's what he's going to do. You got to slide over and, if anything, bump the 7. If you bump it, it's not bad.
Right.
Unless you put it right behind the 8. I mean, behind the 9. Excuse me.
You just want to bump it, just barely hard enough to get to the rail.
Let's see. Let's see what he does here.
Oh wow! Look at that. Oh man!
He surprised us all. He drew above the ball.
What do we know?
Well, that was the one shot he didn't look at. He never looked at that shot.
Well, he played it.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
He just played it.
He surprised me with that.
I think
but
he surprised himself.
that's that little nip stroke that Bobby
Yeah.
and I talk about, and people say, "What are you talking about?" It looks like that. It's like a little jab.
Right.
In boxing, it would be a jab. But all the top players have that stroke where they just kind of hold the cue ball. Well,
He came a little higher than he wanted.
yeah,
but
exactly. He may have to go back and forth across the table with inside English. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Where are you going here, buddy?
Or he could go.
Gonna go around.
Yeah. He'd
Yep.
go around it.
This way, he could put a big stroke on
See,
it.
I run into that ball every time.
Right. And then be at the 50-yard line.
Yep. Run into it and then your 50-yard line.
Justin maintains his 2-game lead. Now the pressure's back on Shane to
Yep.
break and run out.
He's got to stay within striking distance.
Well, we've played 12 games. I would guess that 8 of the 12 games have been break and run outs. There haven't been, I don't know if has there been any 2-inning games? Maybe one. They've mostly been over in 1 inning, one way or the other. Either the breaker or the.
Pretty much, yeah.
And with some crazy shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've made some great shots to get out in 1 inning.
Bergman with those 2 kick shots.
Right.
Back to back.
Yeah. Then
Then a tough 3.
Yeah, then he had to come with a really tough 3.
I mean, you look at that table after Shane McMinn played the kick on the 1. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to get back to the table.
See what Shane does? He's the only guy I've seen do this. He put
Yeah.
the rack upside down. You notice that, Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah. And It didn't work for him in the first game. I don't know.
I gotta ask him why he likes doing it this way.
He did it this way in the 10-ball too.
Well, you can't a 10-ball.
Well, I guess it was earlier night. He's been on this table
9-ball,
before. Yeah, okay. But he was the only guy I saw that put the rack upside down.
Yeah, he was on the TV table yesterday, and he did it. And I meant to ask him afterwards, and then I forgot. I was like,
maybe he thinks it's just racking him a little tighter because it's not getting worn out that way.
could be.
See, this
that
break,
good?
Rick, the corner ball goes every time.
Yep. Well,
And they put the one down table.
in 9-ball, if it's a tight rack, that corner ball's pretty much wired.
But again, if you put that 9-ball in the spot.
Yeah, I think putting the 9 on the spot.
It's definitely something to talk about for sure.
Well, I would say you should look at making some kind of change. Because it kind of makes this one game a joke. It's almost like bowling where, the top bowlers, they got to keep throwing strikes. And with this kind of setup in 9-ball, it's like you got to keep making break and runouts.
My only concern is that, you go and you make that change, and then they figure that out. Then you're just...
Well, I mean, these guys are the greatest.
Unfortunately, they're so good at it that are we just going to chase that?
Bar Corey. I'm joking, Corey. I'm joking.
Corey is...
Look at Matchroom with all the events they do. They're always modifying the rules. They're always modifying their rules. He got jacked up over this ball, but I think the good news is there's the 5 right there.
Yeah,
He can shoot a stop shot.
It doesn't even seem like it's an issue for these guys. Look at that, right down the center
just
of the
jack
pocket.
up center pocket.
Well, he didn't have to do anything with the cue ball there.
No.
My hands, I struggle. Anytime I got to jack up over a ball, my fingers are too short to...
You and me both, buddy.
Well,
You and me both.
I can't. I hate it.
Anytime the butt of that cue has to come up, the accuracy goes down, and it's just these guys.
Well, that's what they used to say, but it don't look like it anymore. These
Wow.
young guys just
don't
jacked
care?
up. No big deal.
Yeah.
Well, remember, you're talking about some of the best players in the country here.
That's true.
So, for the average guy, it does make a big difference.
So
Once
for
again,
all you average players out there that want to get good, practice shooting jacked up.
that's you're making a joke out of it, but it's true. But you got to work on your weaknesses.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
Whatever they might be.
Jacked up, jump shots. None of these guys seem to have an issue when the cue ball's on the rail.
I've had people come to me and say, well, what's it take to be a good player? They think that they can watch DVDs, read books, practice a couple hours a day. I said, listen, here's what it takes. You want to be a good player? I said, become obsessed by it for 3 years.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
And when I said, yeah, you got to play 8 to 10 hours every day. And as soon as you tell them that, then they're discouraged immediately.
It's true, though.
Well, I asked Billy Thorpe yesterday. I said, Shane was standing there, and Billy was kind of warming up before his match. And I said, you travel with Shane, and you're rooming with him. I said, does he ever give you some pointers that he won't give the rest of us? And he goes, yeah, he's only ever given me one pointer. And he goes, practice more.
Look, to stay on top like Shane and Dennis Arculio and people like that,
those
do you
guys-
know they still play 8 and 10 hours a day?
Those guys are always practicing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the great things about Derby City.
Oh.
You walk in there and you go, who's going to win or who's going to get the all-around? And there's always the same 4, 5, or 6 guys. But when they're not in a match, they're on a table.
See, now
They're
look at this. He
hitting
hit that
balls.
soft, but he got 3 balls up past the
Just
side.
constantly,
Yeah.
all day hitting balls.
Well, I've had him stay at my house, and I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning to the click of balls, and I go to sleep at midnight, and the balls are still clicking.
Yeah.
I've seen Dennis literally break the balls in 10 ball for 4 hours straight. I'm saying for 4 hours, he just keeps racking and breaking.
Wow.
Like 10 ball break only. And I've seen Shane set up the same shot and shoot it 50 times in a
Yeah.
row.
Yep.
And he makes it 5 or 6 in a row. I said, Shane, you got it. He said, no, I got to make it 10 in a row. I'm talking about a hard shot.
I know Big Nasty, he told me one time, he said, Shane would come into the pool hall at 10 o'clock at night, play a little with people. And he goes, we closed at midnight, and I'd just leave him in there. And he says, I'd come back at 10 o'clock in the morning, and Shane would be racking the balls and breaking them.
Yeah.
And he'd rack the balls up and break. And he goes, so what'd you do last night, kid? And he goes, worked on my break. He had broke the balls all night long.
There you go.
10 hours.
There you go. So it's no accident when they become great players.
Yeah.
No.
And he's got the greatest break in the world. That's why.
Nice shot there, Justin.
Wow, that was beautiful.
It really is like they're taking turns serving right here. Your serve, my serve. Your serve, my serve. I mean, they've been trading racks for about 6 or 8 games now.
This match didn't start off that way, but first 2 or 3 games. But once Justin got that 2-game lead.
Yeah, but the pressure's on him. Each rack, he's got to keep running out to maintain that lead.
Yep, because Shane
let him make one mistake.
Right, and Shane's right back in it.
Shane is just staying right within sniffing distance. He's one mistake away from.
It's going to get a little tricky from the 4 to the 5.
Yeah, he's not worried about this 3. He's looking at the 4 to the 5 already.
He's thinking about where does he need to be on the 4 because he doesn't want to flirt with that side pocket with the cue ball. We are at a very critical point in this match. It's a race to 9.
Yeah, if Justin could get out here, he's on the hill. So this is big.
Good. He's all right. I was going to say, he didn't want to get over there and get jacked up over the 9.
See where he's standing? That's where he wants the cue ball to be.
Yeah.
He's got to be careful. He doesn't want too high an angle. Although if he has an angle, he might use the 9 ball to stop the cue ball. He could come off the 5 and bump the 9, and he'd have shape for. Oh, wait, he's got to get up on the 6. That's right. He's got to go around. He's all right. He's good. I think he's good. This looks perfect. This looks perfect.
Boy. Looks good.
I still confuse the 6 and 7 once in a while.
Yeah,
Not
me too.
often.
Me too, and I have to clean these balls at every tournament. I still get them mixed up once in a while.
Whoa. You clean these balls?
Were you in here this morning? We cleaned every table.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
You got a little girl over there that comes over and cleans this table once in a while. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I bought a set of these balls, Rick, after the U.S. Open, just so I wanted to play with them and get really familiar with them.
I like them.
I love
They're
the way
great.
they play. They play.
And I like the new cue ball.
I do too. I really do.
And I'll tell you this, from my perspective, is doing all these tournaments, these Cyclop balls stay shinier a lot longer than the Aramith balls.
It seems like it. They
don't
don't get dirty.
They don't pick up the black marks off the diamond pockets like the Aramith used to.
You're right. Well, he went through that rack real nice. He's not done yet, but I like the way he's handled it so
He is
far.
playing so good.
I've got a diamond table that I got about 4 or 5 years ago, and I still get black marks on the Aramith balls. But well, we've only had the Cyclop balls for a couple of weeks, but they're not getting dirty.
No, they don't.
He can draw straight back on the other side of the 9 ball here. Just like that.
And he's going to be on the hill.
Shane's going to give him that one. I wouldn't have. I'll tell you, I wouldn't have given him that one.
I wouldn't either. Well, they're not supposed to, but
They shouldn't.
Well, listen, last night when Rob Sias was playing Jason Klatt, they were giving each other the last 2 and 3 balls.
yeah, I don't like that. That's
Well,
if you're gambling,
some tournaments
that's
you got a rule like that.
well,
you can't.
and
Hey, there's. Didn't you? Hey! Didn't you used to be a commentator?
Yeah, I told him I'm gonna give everybody a nickname. We're gonna go with Rotten Cotton and
Rotten Cotton. I like that name.
I still think the name of his book should have been Cottontails.
you might have sold it to people that didn't know anything about pool.
That might have been the.
Could be down there selling it at Hooters.
Yeah.
Justin's on the hill.
Cotton wants his seat back. Leave him something special.
What time you got, Bobby? Next match, 4 o'clock. Don't be late.
Don't be late.
We're going to dock your pay, man.
He misses Jay.
Meanwhile, this is not the best break here. He's got problems with 3 and 4. Well, if he gets on the 2 right, though, the 3 will go past will go in that other corner pocket, the lower right corner.
Yeah.
Shoot that 1 in with a little bit of inside and come down so you can shoot the 2 on the side and just drift over there to the left side.
That's what he wants to do, but it's playing position on this 2 is a little tricky.
That's tough because you're still jacked up a bit.
Yeah.
He's looking to see if the 2 goes in the corner past the 6.
Well, he's feeling the heat because he knows he has to get out here.
Yeah, he has to get out here and hope for one chink in the arm, one bad kiss or something.
He accepted a long shot.
And it can happen.
We've seen it happen this week.
It seems like it happens a lot right at the end of matches.
Yeah, poor Billy Thorpe, I tell you.
Oh, that was brutal.
That was one of the most brutal rolls of ever. He broke perfect that whole match, and
nice shot there.
That's perfect.
I told him after the match, he said, "Oh, Jay," I said, "Billy," I said, "you're 19 years old." I said, "You're going to win a lot of tournaments, buddy."
Yeah.
Do you know at the beginning when Johnny Archer was playing on the tour and he was 18 and 19, he finished second like 6 times before he won?
Yeah.
And I can remember him coming to me and saying, "Jay, when am I ever going to win a tournament?" This was like 1990. I said, "Johnny, you're going to win lots of tournaments." And once he won his first one, he won everything.
That's what we were talking. Shane Van Boning, once he won his first tournament, then he just went on a run. And the same thing happened to Skyler this year. Right after Derby, he won a bar table tournament, and then he was just winning every tournament he entered for a while.
Listen, Skyler's playing better than he did a year or 2 ago.
Oh, yeah, his game.
He's got a lot of confidence.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's confident. He knows he can win any tournament he enters.
Well, and with all these guys right now, I'm kind of rooting for a Shane McMinn and Billy Thorpe because then you got 5 or 6 or 7 of these guys that could win at any time.
Yeah.
And it's really about getting that first win under your belt.
If Billy could pull a win out of this tournament or the A-ball, it could propel him into.
Well, I expect big things from Billy Thorpe in the future. I'm telling you, that guy's got a real big upside.
First met Billy at Derby City, and he was just hanging out in the gambling. He's just gambling.
Well, he's been coming there since he was 12 years old.
And I thought
his dad was he's been coming around here for like 6 or 7 years.
I thought, he'll never be a tournament player. He's just a gambler, and boy, but now he's really turning into an great all-around player.
Well, he told me that he's just started playing tournaments. He's getting used to it, and he likes it.
Well, that's good.
He's done pretty well playing money games, as you probably know.
Oh yeah.
Boy, look at this.
Well, Danny Smith's another one. Boy,
right.
For money games, he's
Josh Roberts, who's here.
Yeah. But you don't see Danny Smith at a lot of tournaments.
No.
Jay, in the older days, I'm not giving up my age, but it seemed like you had the gambling player and you had the tournament player.
You're the youngest sitting here.
That's awesome.
Get that.
But that's the way it was.
Right.
And now it seems like these kids are coming up and they start gambling, and then they become the tournament player.
They want to do both, like Shane.
Right.
Sure. Shane's always done
But
that.
back in the older days, it was either you were one or the other, but you weren't both.
Right. And the gamblers didn't come around the tournaments.
Right.
Well,
I will be right back.
Bye-bye, Brett.
Oh, okay. Oh, they want him to take this
magic rack out of the way.
Okay.
Oh, they got room. Just turn it and lift it.
I don't think Brett's going to have to do it. I think Shane's going to do it.
Yeah.
It's gone. Come back, Brett.
Come on back, Brett. Well, and that's nice that Shane did that. I mean, obviously Justin doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to bump the ball that could be tied up.
But I have to tell you something, Rick, related to what we were just talking about. In the old days, at every tournament, there was always a practice room where there was action.
Yeah.
Always. Just go forward. Just go forward for the...
Perfect.
Boy, he came out good here. Well, he'd like to have been a little straighter on this one, but he's okay.
He's 4 balls away from his spot in the final.
It's a lot easier shot with that 4 ball, like more than a half a diamond off the rail.
Yeah.
And it's nice when you're close to it with the cue ball. He's just got to follow off the rail. He's got to get that cue ball out past the middle of the table. So he's got to put a little speed on this shot. Kind of like that.
Perfect.
I like the way he hit it. He didn't hit it hard. He just let it roll out.
Nice and smooth.
He's shaking his head.
Who's that, Shane?
No, Justin shaking his head. He's probably 2 inches from where he wanted to be. You know, it's like
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. He wants to play perfect.
Yep.
Lassiter was that way. Lassiter, he'd be 1 inch from where he wanted to be, and he'd be upset. He'd be upset.
Yeah, Justin told me the other night. He goes, I had good shape, but he goes, I was like 1.5 inches from where I wanted to be. And I thought, that's why you are as good as you are, because nobody's going to be harder on his game than he is.
Get on by it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Too nice.
Well, he didn't want to be on the rail, but
yeah.
But these guys act like the rail's not even there.
Yeah. As long as he's got an angle, he's all right.
Yeah.
He can get up above that 9
Come
ball.
off the bottom rail, side rail.
He hit that good.
There it is.
You're right. He just pumped it in.
Great game.
Great
Handshake. We got a winner.
Great
Justin
match.
Bergman in the hot seat. Shane's
Boy, he got
moving over
that
loser
2-game
side.
lead, and he just never let it.
Well, Jay, that was a pleasure.
Thank
Never
you.
got to commentate with you before.
Yeah,
I
can check
enjoyed
another
it.
thing
I
off my
enjoyed
bucket
it.
list.
You guys are good. I'm going to go home.
No.
Let's see. Commentate with Jay Helford. Boom, checked off.
We'll be back at 4 o'clock next match.